NPC system, I gotcha you, bro. Thanks for sup doggy for inspiration, and for making this NPC system possible. His channel link will be in description. Anyways, back to the video. Okay, so this is my very first video, and I appreciate all the support. Okay, so let's start with setting up our NPC. Usually it is from Moon Animator preset NPCs. Here we have our NPC system that we're going to use. Okay, so go in Starter Player, inside Starter Player Scripts, insert a local script, and start scripting it. Change the path of the NPC system module to however you like. By calling this function, we successfully created NPC. No need to add anything else. And here we have our parameter. Second one is head if you want it for a custom NPC character. And third, you don't want to use a lot as the script handles it. Here, we are setting our NPC settings so we can use it later. Remember that we must have greetings and options tables. Farewells is not required, but you can use it too. Okay, now let's start making the dialogue. As our first parameter, you can use either a string or a number as a key for that dialogue. And for the second parameter, we insert the NPC settings we made above. You can also get the proximity prompt using NPC:get_promote. As you can see, it returns proximity prompt. Let's set up everything now. Use it once the player trigger the promote so we can play our dialogue. Oops, sorry. Also, you can use show and start instead of play. They are all the same. You can also see we have skip cooldown parameter. I will explain it later. Now let's make the NPC respond to the choices we make from options list. As you can see, we have response index as first parameter, which means the first option of the dialogue key we set in the second parameter. Dialogue key is the second parameter we will be working on. Respond is only used when we are talking with NPC. You can make the NPC say anything you like. We can also set for how long this respond lasts above the NPC head. Set the third parameter to true if you don't want NPC to exit at that respond, meaning you have another respond you want to add later. The second respond shouldn't have true as third parameter. So now the first respond plays for 2 seconds, then the second respond comes after it for 1.5 seconds, then ends the dialogue. Here we have the name of the NPC. It is automatically set to the name of NPC in the workspace. Once you trigger it, you can see the options we set in the NPC settings are here. And it is a billboard GUI, which is pretty cool. And it also has cool hover and appearance tweens. It has pretty cool visuals. And as we test our second option, you will see he will respond 2 times. You might be wondering what will happen if we choose this. Well, I have covered this too, in case you didn't set something for it. Also, if you move away, it should end automatically. If you exceed a certain distance, either you set or the script does it alone. Okay, let's set a name to the NPC. And also I will be showing some of names usages. For set name enabled, if we pass false to the first parameter, both name and arrow will be disabled. But if you pass true to the second parameter, it will make the arrow visible only. You can also change the color of the name and arrow too. Okay, now he is John DOE LOL. Didn't get affected by the workspace name.
Nice.
You can also get his name using npc::get_name and print it. Okay, now let's get to the highlight library and its settings. It is a pretty cool thing you can use. It has an auto-fill features, and don't forget to use set highlight function to make it work. Okay, let's test it. Okay, so nothing happens now, but if you get closer, you will see he will have a highlight. If you move away, it fades away. If you see the prompt shown, then the highlight will change to the on-prompt shown highlight settings. And if you talk to him, he will change his highlight to on talking highlight settings. Pretty cool. Other highlight functions you can use. Also get highlight acts the same as the proximity prompt : get prompt. You can also set the close range, the max distance to end the NPC session. And one of my favorites is the NPC : look at player. You can either make him look with his whole body or just his head. By default, it uses the head. Look, he is looking at us.
What the dog doing?
Help! Help! Help me!
You can also make the camera follow his head with an offset of a vector 3. You can change the offset far by typing a number or custom vector. And since we are locking the camera, we can't see our billboard options. So instead it will use screen GUI options mode and camera mode. It feels too good. And if you move far away, it resets. And everything will work normally. Okay, so let's remove it and make dialogue chaining. This table is made for the pure randomness. Once you set it in any option response, it will play it if you choose the third response. Let's have a look.
Absolute Cinema Pro.
It is very good for chaining the dialogues, and it is fully customizable. Of course, it will error. We didn't make anything for it yet. Let's make it say something if we choose one of its options. I would prefer to set our keys above so we don't make anything wrong, and it is easier. Okay, time to use skip cooldown parameter. So this used to skip the wait the amount of seconds we set here. I mean, you guys will understand when I playtest. Let's make this true so it skips it. If we don't use the parameter true in that case, trust me, you will get bad result. Another use case, which is if NPC : is on cooldown, then return end. So we prevent the start of it or other stuff you set in the trigger action. Let's test. Okay, so now it will play normally. But if I try to click on the prompt after finishing with him, I won't be able to do for 2 seconds. That's why we need the true to avoid the wait. Another very cool feature that's used in Grow a Garden 2 is counter numbers. We can make a counter of numbers. It can be used for a cell NPC to calculate money or something like that. You can format numbers as well, but for now let's use a small number. You can set the number of decimals as you want in the 5th parameter or by using a separate function. You can also signal when the counter is done. It is useful to give the money to the player once it is done, and for the parameter is skipped will be explained later. But for max distance, if you move away while it is counting, then you can do whatever you like. You can block anything from running if that happened. Let's test it. So as you can see, it counts up to 10. Once it is done, you see it printed high player. But now let's try to move away and see if it prints or not. Nothing happened, which is pretty good. Okay, time to show you skip library. So set auto skip works only if you see a text 2 times. If you see it once, you can't skip, but on second time you can skip. For counters, it requires double click to skip one for counter and another for the whole line. You can also set a skip key code either using a string or a num. Key code. If it is left empty, then it will requires a click anywhere. For can be skipped, YO can set it only on respond functions, so you can either skip on first or second time, or disable its skip ability. As you can see, it says press Q to skip, and once I skipped the counter, it didn't print high player. Now if we wait again, it will print normally. Another cool thing this module has is say function. Say means NPC can say anything, no need to trigger a proximity prompt or either by proximity prompt. Now if we wait 4 seconds in his range, he will say if we wait 1,000,000 seconds away from his range, then enter his range, he will say it. Why? Because he was storing it to say it later. Let's make it 6 seconds and make it count. So now I am away from his range. So now let's see what happens when we stay. He said it. Another cool thing about say that you can cancel the say if something happens. But for the sake of the test, we can make it cancel after 4 seconds. You can also signal it once it is canceled. Okay, so now let's stay here for more than 10 seconds. Yes, he won't say it again because it is canceled. I don't know why I didn't make a print to know when he canceled it. Another cool thing that you can make the NPC memory anything, but you have to set branch memory first. Then get it by using get branch memory function. Let's make a small usage here. Last visit time is triggered once you have visited an NPC by clicking on him. Say function doesn't count it as a visit. Let's try it now. All right, it is working perfectly. Also, we can memorize the last option chosen. Here is a simple way of how to use it. First time it won't trigger it because it was the first time we choose it. But if we choose it again, it will run the respond we set back then. You can also use it if it's the first time the player triggers this NPC. Pretty cool. Okay, let's have a fast trip around other signals in the module. NPC.ended has 3 parameters, and I think they speak for themselves right. You can also do something if the state of the NPC changes. Okay, let's try if we have 2 NPCs. Highlights are good, no proximity prompt confliction happening. See, I can't see the prompt of the other NPC. And same for first one. You can set a response delay and options time as well. The first parameter for how long the options text above player head lasts, and second one when NPC responds. The other function set response delay does the same but for the second parameter. See, it lasted more than the NPC one. Okay, so we also have a function to let the nearest NPC or the triggered NPC to say something once we die. Here it is, it worked, and it gave me the one I made for it, but it also can show one of the preset death response once we die, but at 30%. It is just nice. You can also override preset death response and keep it for just that NPC. It is highly optimized, and here we are going to have 2 super awesome features. You can disable an option, and player can't click on it, You can also customize how it looks. Okay, so let's set up leader stats script to show how it works. Let's get the player and the level value inside our script. Note, don't use local script to handle level management. Exploiters can easily read and change the script. Use remote event instead, but for the sake of the video, let's do it here. As you can see, it is locked and I can't hover on it. I need level 5 to be able to see it. So let's move away and change our level to 5 and see what happens. Yep, it worked. I really like that feature because it can be very helpful in simulator games. Just to note, you have to talk with the NPC to see the changes. Dude, just let me talk with you. Yay, it is locked again. You can also remove this option completely until it returns a true value. Let's say 10 this time. As you can see, the second option, which is bad, is not here until we become level 10. Let's try to set our level to 10 and see the magic. Yep, it worked. I can now see the second option. You can also remove these requirements if the player does something else. By use remove requirement or remove condition, which is pretty awesome. For example, let's wait 10 seconds till it shows the second option again. My bad, guys, I forgot that we have to do it at the very end so I can trigger the proximity prompt law. Now it should work. Okay, so now I can't see the second option. Let's move away and wait. As you can see, it showed the second option, and we are not even level 10. Okay, so I have wrote an example script to make an NPC open a UI. Here we use from NPC Boolean to check if we open the UI from the NPC or not. We also used in respond the signal dot ended colon wait to wait for it to finish to open the UI. You can also connect it to open the UI too with a parameter of max distance. And we get the get property changed signal, a visible property of the frame. Let's test the script now. Yeah, it worked very well, and it opened the UI, and let's try to close it from the player GUI for now. You can set a close button and it will work fine. As you can see, he said what he is supposed to. If you try to open and close it, and not from the NT, then nothing will happen. You might be wondering what will happen if we don't wait. Well, it will open immediately once the NPC responds. Let's try it now. As you can see, once he responded, the UI opened, which is pretty good, and you have many customizable stuff to do with the module. Okay, let's try canceling the save, so when we come back, he shouldn't say it because we went too far. Once you close the UI far from him and come back to him, he will say nothing because we canceled it. Okay, so this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and tell me what other systems you guys want in the comments. Thanks for watching.